What's up guys, back in the garage with another video. I'm working on my truck today. This is a 1986 Toyota pickup. Today what we're going to be doing is the clutch master cylinder. It is leaking, it's dripping on the inside of the dash, and as you can see it's eroding the firewall. So I definitely want to get that replaced. First thing you want to do, back here, see where that hole is? There's a little clip that you have to pull out of this pin here. And then there's also a spring. So just take a needle nose pliers and get that out. You can slide out the pin, and then it should be loose, and you can see the clutch cylinder is wet. It's kind of dripping. After you detach the pedal on the inside, there's two 12mm bolts that you can take out to remove the cylinder, one there and then one underneath there. Then after that, I'm going to detach the brake line. That should be a 10mm. I'm going to put a rag under here to catch any drips too. I haven't emptied the cylinder, but I'm not too concerned about that. There we go. Now I'm only replacing the master cylinder. I might eventually need to do the slave cylinder and or the brake line, because down by the slave cylinder the brake line does get kind of rusty, but I'm not going to mess with it until it's leaking. So just doing this for now. If everything's disconnected on the inside, you can just pull that out. Careful not to get any drips on the paint. So here's the old one. I would not be surprised if this is the original one. It's Toyota, so it has lasted like 40 years. But here's the new one. I picked this up at Advanced Auto Parts. It was the Luke brand, which I've researched, and seems to be a good high quality brand compared to the cheapo store brands. This was just under $40. Looks almost exactly the same except for the reservoir. Okay, next up, before I install the new one, I'm going to try to clean off the rust and erosion there and see if I can paint it up a little bit just to preserve the life of that metal. Okay, I got my handy dandy little M12 die grinder here. A wire brush that is most definitely not suited to these RPMs, but it's held up so far, so I'm gonna try to clean this up. I'm going to take some rubbing alcohol and clean it off. Okay, I got it cleaned up pretty well with the alcohol. It's not great, it's still rusty, but it's all mostly surface rust. I'm glad it wasn't leaking too much because this could have been bad. But I'm going to tape off the studs here, paint it, and then get on with the rest of the work. Okay, I got a rag over the brake master cylinder, and I taped over the connection for the clutch. Got the paint here. Final coat. Okay, it was really hard to coat this just because of the spacing. I couldn't move the can around very well, but it's all coated and at least it's better than nothing. So paint's been drying for a couple hours. Should be dry enough for me to put the cylinder back on. So let's do that. And I'm just gonna wipe off the end of this to make sure it's clean. Definitely make sure you don't cross thread this. Let's go on the inside and hook up the pedal. Okay, I did come across a problem. You can see the end of the cylinder right there. This rod is too long and it hits the pedal. I need to cut the rod down before I can put the bracket on. I'll actually have to take it out to cut it, so this is really annoying, but gotta do it. Okay, I got that cut and I filed the edges. I am gonna put a little bit of anti-seize just around this flange here, just to in the future prevent it from rusting to the firewall. You have the bracket that goes on the outside of this pedal. So I just put the pin in, and you want to test the free play, see where it is. Mine just has a little bit. You basically unscrew the bracket to get more free play, then screw it in to get less. I like it pretty tight, so I'll keep it right there. Then the last thing you have to do is just put the clip right there. So as you can see, got the bracket with the correct free play adjustment, and then the pin, then this clip that goes through the small hole right there, and then the spring gets attached to that notch. Since we have the free play that we want, I can just tighten down this nut. It looks like a 12mm, and we should be good from the inside. To bleed the system, first get someone to help you. Then you want to top off the reservoir with .3 brake fluid. Then after that, attach a clear hose to the bleeder valve which is this one up top. This is where the brake line comes in. This is the bleeder valve. Attach a clear hose and run it into a container. Then have them push the clutch pedal in, and you want to loosen the valve, wait till fluid stops flowing out, then close it. Then have them release their foot off the clutch pedal. Then have them push it down again, open the valve till it stops flowing, then close the valve, then have them release it. Keep going until you don't have any more bubbles and the fluid looks clean. Basically, we're going to be flushing the fluid through the whole system, getting all the bubbles out. One thing you definitely want to do is never let the reservoir run dry. If you run it dry, bubbles will get in the system from the top. You have to restart the whole thing. So as you're pumping, always check the fluid to make sure it does not run dry. Keep adding to the reservoir. Let's do this. Okay, push the pedal all the way in. Now release it.
All the way?
Yep. Now push. Now release. Now I'm just going to check the fluid. Push. Release. Push. Release. Push. I finished bleeding it, and of course I forgot to add fluid, so we had to restart it at one point because it sucked in some air. I'll try to wipe up as best I can. It's all cleaned up and ready to go. Just make sure to tighten down the bleeder screw when you're done. Okay, after I bled it, I topped it off with fluid. Make sure you do that. I just did it about a ½ inch from the top because that seemed about right. Wipe up any excess because brake fluid is pretty corrosive. It will erode stuff. Make sure all your connections are tight. I went down here and the pedal action feels really good. You can tell it's doing something. It's pretty stiff. Once I drive it, I will adjust and see where I like the free play and where I want the engagement. But it feels good right now. Everything's cleaned up. Doesn't seem like there's any leaks. Thank you guys for joining me on this video, and I'll see you in the next one. What's up, guys? I'm working on the truck today. This is a 1986 Toyota pickup that I picked up. Please work, please work. Ah. Oh yeah. Stay pushed in. Release and push in. Oh shoot.